Inertia and REPA jointly present Professor Iyer's talk show, Future of Energy, India Vision 2022. India's first talk show on energy and power. Exclusively on Zee Business. Co-partners MTU On-Site Energy and BS Group, Sugan Automatics. Associate partner BHEL. Supported by Jindal Power Limited and Patel Engineering Limited. Segment partner Green Brilliance Energy, a Falcon Media production exclusively on Zee Business.
Welcome you back to the show, Future of Energy, India Vision 2022, the Inertia show on Zee Business. With me today, again back on a great subject called quality and reliability of power, which is very critical too for both the consumer and also for the utilities and also for the country. I have with me Mr. Anil Razan, former Secretary Power, Government of India, to again enlighten us on this issue and start the discussion. We also have Dr. Hridesh Khanna, the Director of Business Development and Strategy for MTU On-Site in Germany. We have on my right Ravi Kumar, the former Managing Director and Chairman of BHEL, and also a very eminent personality in the power sector today heading the Abhijit Group. We have Mr. Nimish Patel, the Director on board of Patel Engineering Limited, a very strong hydropower and also from the upcoming power company in the country for all the other segments as well. We have on my extreme left Mr. R.K. Srivastava, Director of Kirloskar Brothers Limited, and on my right extreme is none other than Hetal Mehta, the Joint President of Renewable Energy Promotion Association. To begin the day, let us start, quality and reliability in all aspects of life, very critical, also in manufacturing. Same for power. What are the aspects, fundamental for our viewer? ये quality जो है, ये quality शब्द को कैसे define किया जा सकता है? In terms of the electricity as a commodity. इसमें quality के क्या तत्व है, sir? What are the quality elements in this for us? How does the consumer know he's receiving quality power?
I think, essentially there are four ingredients of power. One is quantity, quality, reliability, and I think the fourth is affordability.
That's right.
So I think unless you view all four together, you will not be able to arrive at a true balance. Quality and reliability are come into play after you have the quantity and you have affordability.
Absolutely.
Both for the purchaser, that is the consumer, and the distribution companies. Quality of power means that essentially that you are getting your power at the required voltage level which you have prescribed, and the frequency also. Last system we have prescribed at 50 Hertz. So if you have these two elements in proper position with very little deviation or what we call technically as excursions, then you have good quality power. But reliable is, yes, if something fails in the system behind you, which was supplying power to you, can a fallback system come and take over that system so that the consumer at the other end continues to get power in all situations and circumstances at the desired or prescribed level?
My fundamental point coming at that is, are we really going there? Is the consumer or the buyer, let us say agricultural, industrial, or all spectrum, receiving the right quality of power?
Yeah, I think we should divide it into three areas. One is the voltage, as our Mr. Razdan Saab has told. The voltage level, if it goes up, or if you have a single phasing or anything, so you have a complete short circuit and you have a problem. So first is, the reliability of the amplitude of the voltage what you are receiving. It should be within plus minus 5%. So that 230 volts, whatever you are getting, it should be, if it is 415 three-phase power, then it will not spoil the equipment. So nowadays, you see everywhere voltage regulators are being sold as almost it is that the voltage is supposed to vary, but in reality it should not vary. That's one thing. The second thing, after the ABT regime, you find I visited at least 15 to 20 power stations. It is more or less at 49.5 to 50.5. Earlier, we used to have 48 and all that. That's not that. The third thing is the sinusoidal waveform, what we are getting. So that is also very important. We must have less harmonics in the system. So if you have, as I say, most of the things, if it is heating, then your ice quality comes, so it is not really important whether harmonics hit the metal or the sine tunnel waveform hits, but there are certain applications where the sine tunnel waveform is also important. So there should not be any harmonics, and these harmonics are injurious both to the generator as well as to the receiver. Then, nowadays, if you see most of the places, the inverter is already there, so or the DG set is already there. So if people won't mind to give a slightly higher price, if you can dispense with all these things and if you can give 24 into 7 power supply. So even if it's little costly, I don't think the urban consumers will be hesitant to pay a higher tariff. These are the three things as far as the receiver is concerned. As far as the generator is concerned, the fault transmission is concerned, the fault level, and also recently, we have seen that, the quality gets affected by even the snow which is getting accumulated in the conductors, and if dust comes, there is a corona effect and it's a discharge. So transmission is also important. The generation, we must have this one, and industries lagging power factor. They must put capacitor banks so that you don't unnecessarily load the system with reactive power. And these are the things I would advise as far as the reliability and quality of power is concerned.
Taking this argument further, there is one great idea. The harmonics coming from industry has always been like the electronic pollution. For my reader, it is like ये pollution है, ये electronic pollution है. So इस electronic pollution के लिए there are solutions. Like instead of passive filters, the idea was active harmonic filter. We had a good seminar in Gujarat for a couple of facilities and they were ready. So is there a dearth of manufacturers, Khanna Saab, that a country like India, which badly probably needs this type of a thing? I think even countries with a lot of renewables like Germany may need this kind of a situation. So is it related to some kind of a lack of policy construct?
Well, I don't know that about India, about policy construct over here. But what I would say, adding to the quality, one has to look at the consumer and what kind of quality is he expecting from the provider in that sense.
Right now, we'll take a quick break. Welcome back. And as we take up into the discussion from a perspective of a developer and industry man, how do you see quality of power? Do you feel adoption of technology to improve quality at the industry side is critical? Or do you see the government itself should have safeguards from the beginning in the system?
Can't always have look to government for any shortfalls in quality. The part of the responsibility is the developers, and they should, and they will continue to stick to the norms. I think that's key in delivering quality power.
So what you're effectively saying is, for example, if there are too many steel producers or caustic soda producers putting harmonics into the system, and they must put up the active harmonic filters to ensure that they don't disturb the grid.
Yes, not only that, but I think the basic question is who is responsible for providing this quality power. You asked me whether it should be government or whether it should be the developer. Where the developers are a lot of the government companies are listed, so I think those lines are getting blurred as far as this issue goes. I think any developer should be responsible enough to provide what quality he's supposed to, whether it's a manufacturer, whether it is a developer. Everyone in there has a responsibility.
Yeah, but I just truncate that question. For example, the steel industry as a user, that exact question. So while there is a discipline, there are people who parallelly operate their equipment on the grid with high torque, industrial motors, induction furnaces, a lot of these stuff. So Srivastava sir, isn't it the responsibility of these operators to also not disturb the grid by putting technology on their side?
Yeah, it is very important. Actually, forefront of technology, quality and reliability. These are all the three parameters required to be integrated. And when you are suppose starting the large motor, there can be a cell and there can be a whole disturber. But if you really design the whole system properly, the current taken will not be even double. Otherwise, it can be 5 to 6 times. So if you put a soft starter, the current will go down almost to 1.8 times, 1.5 times. So that is very important. Another thing is you have to see if all equipment are efficient and reliable and quality is good. You require the overall consumption. Even all auxiliary system in power plant, which is taking around 8% power, can go down to 6%. You can say 2% is tested.
Better, sir. In Gujarat state, the power quality is considered to be one of the finest. You know, I would say both industrial and rural consumers receive good quality of power, both in terms of voltage and frequency, and also reliable on a continuous basis. You know, what is the Gujarat trick?
It's the involvement of the people, cooperation of the people, and producer, supplier, and utility all together are working. What ultimately again end user required continuous uninterrupted quality power, where everybody has to involve themselves in this kind of situation. So that is the base of it.
The idea of the urban and rural divide. The figures tell us that for an Indian economy situation with the 182 gigawatts that we are talking about installed capacity and the generated factor, almost 75% of the consumption happens between the urban, industrial, commercial consumer, and 25% is consumed by the rural economy. Can this type of a model sustain? Because it also talks about the lack of economical involvement of the rural community. So, what is your view, Razdan Saab, as you have seen so much of policy, you have been a veteran in that, and you've seen this country moving across and trying to alleviate poverty. Look, so do you think that energy poverty itself is the fundamental aspect of alleviation?
You see, I would say at no stage will there be equalization of the consumption levels, because wherever you see there is heavy industry, or there is, say, people living in multi-storied buildings, you will have higher per capita consumption of power. Well, till very recently, large number of our villages did not even have lighting. We've taken the first step that we've taken lighting across there. But these loads are not even enough yet to be able to provide them with a livelihood. This requires massive investments, not only in creating that rural infrastructure there, but also in the substations which are ultimately going to provide power to those villages. And this is where the health of the transcos, the state transcos, the state distribution companies, this is extremely important. And I think the regulators have to be very active now. They've had a phase of introspection, and I think they have to get very tough on reliability as well as on this quality of power. I would say that this of course requires investment. You've got to see whether he's taken enough fallback visions to be able to supply sources of power from more than one source that he's contracted for. It should not happen that if a particular power supply station goes off, then he's without power. He must do some standby arrangements also, which in our terminology we call spinning reserves or something in terms of reserve generation. But then you've got to improve the supply systems. At the moment, you're very right, we have two Indias. One is the rural India, one is the urban India. Not talking, maybe the other extreme, of course, are the metropolitan cities. There were feeders and probably still feeders in the country. We were 125 kilometers long. You see, as and when power connections have been given in a very haphazard fashion, you just started connecting wires across. With the result that the person at the tail end of the system gets a very poor quality of power. Absolutely right. Now, we've got to improve this. The feeders have to be rationalized, but all this means money. And it will reflect in higher tariffs. That's right. So there is going to be no compromise. If you want quality and reliable power, you will have to, consumer will have to be prepared to pay for more.
The consumer must pay. That's what Razdan Saab says. On this note, we'll take a short break. We'll come back to this very exciting discussion. Back with you, man. We are back on the channel. Let's look at the other aspect. While the consumer must pay, today we are seeing that 60% of our rural electrification in reality is not happened because he barely receives electricity. All the grid reaches there. So Ravi Kumar Saab, where are we going? We are still disconnecting a lot of our consumers, promising them and never delivering them.
So actually, some of the states have started the two feeders. That is, one is an direction that, the agriculture gets during the night. See, pumping can be in the night, actually, pumping water can be in the night. So, certain kind of, when power is available, the water is pumped and then the fields are getting irrigated. So, this is a good step in the direction. The second thing, see, if you are going to fix only 50 paisa per unit or free electricity, see, when you are having electricity, when you are buying at 4 rupees, and if you don't have money to pay to the various generators, the distribution companies definitely, they would like to give more power to those who pay more. So, it is our assumption that rural people cannot pay. I don't think that is true today. A very low tariff if we give, definitely the distribution companies will not be, they have a power cut for 3 days, 2 days. So, it's more on the finances of the distribution companies that is coming in way.
I will take one point here, to go to Srivastava's substrate. We talked about pump sets here, and we know that metering of pump sets has been a major grey area for this country. We have completely unmetered pump sets. I think manufacturers, some of them not the big ones, Kirloskar is a great manufacturer, others was following on, but there are people who are unscrupulously putting lower nameplate rating on a pump, and then all this goes, commercial losses build in the rural economy. What is your view, sir? How can we stop this?
This is a very important and vital point. That really it can help in great way, because 30% of power consumption goes for irrigation, and that is free. That's why the quality, reliability and efficiency does not matter there. The average efficiency on the pump is today 15-20% for agricultural pump. This would have been 80%. That can save almost 10% power, and there will be no load shedding if that happens. Great. International standards are there. HIS is there. Now Indian standard is there. BE has come with 5-star, where you can really, it has been told life cycle cost. When the cost of the pump is only 6%. 94% cost is really for energy and maintenance, O&M. So you can understand the importance of energy and O&M compared to the initial cost. People go based on the initial cost. So if the government makes a norm, if this require only 5-star, even they are giving free, but pump has to be 5-star. Even that can help in big way.
Let me look at free power as a subject here. Dinesh bhai, do we really need free power here, or do we really need power at a reasonable cost?
I think I fully agree with Mr. Razdan there, where all consumers must pay for their power. And what Mr. Ravi Kumar also said, that to say today that rural consumers can't afford power is not entirely true. So the concepts of free power that are associated with power plants, they have little to do with the consumers and more to do with the states and some of the resources that the state is giving up. But I think as a whole we need to slowly get away from free power.
गुजरात का इसमें बड़ा अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है केतल भाई, आप बताएंगे हमारे व्यूअर्स को कि ये जो गुजरात ने जो पंपिंग स्कीम्स में जो सेव किया है, स्पेशली जिसमें इन्होंने मतलब चेक वाटर डैम डाले हैं 1.5 लाख, और इससे करीब 1000 मेगावाट की सेविंग हुई थी, एंड दैट रिजल्टेड इन द इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन ऑफ लिटरली बड़ौदा एंड अहमदाबाद एंड इवन सूरत। और अपनी फ्री पावर इतनी जल्दी फार्मर को दिया जा रहा है, दिया तो जा रहा है, गुजरात में भी फ्री पावर है, लेकिन उस स्तर पे नहीं दिया जा रहा जिस स्तर पर बाकी देश में हो रहा है। तो आपका क्या कहना है इसमें?
Even farmers are ready to pay if they are getting continuous uninterrupted power. That is the base. Basically, the whole cycle is depend on availability and quality power. The amount of subsidies we are giving, we can think on that way also. Why can't we build all the agriculture pumps with solar in future? Whatever amount we are putting in the subsidies, put in the solar. That model, all we are working on it. But free power cannot be affordable in this country now.
So, I must come back to Khanna Sahab on this. We are challenged in this country, unlike in Europe, where electricity is paid for. Do you think that ideas like solar pump sets, driving our agricultural pump sets with solar, or other kind of technology issues, and then also ensuring that the mix, that is the renewable mix into the grid and the other stabler power, which we call, by making it balanced, we can achieve a real quality and reliability factor in the system.
What you are really talking is now availability, actually. So that, if you look into the value chain today, that means improving your maintenance systems, improving your services, and improving the product quality itself. Actually, these are three basic elements to that. We have to see the holistic environmental impact on the ecological systems which we have on altogether, right? And water, air, and electricity power will go hand in hand together. And nobody has realized this, actually, that context. You see? So for water you need energy, but to create energy you also need water in that sense, you see. So here is to find an optimized balance in everything as in life itself. I think that is something, which one really needs to look at before we go and talk about just technology. Technologies are available there, but the question is, how do I use these technologies, you see?
On that note, on the last note, that we need to combine our thinking on making electricity, water and power, a combined thinking and a strategic module. We close this session to reach and wait 5 dear viewers for the next one on hydropower. As we come right on this channel, thank you for now. Thank you all the panelists here.
Inertia and REPA jointly present Professor Iyer's talk show, Future of Energy, India Vision 2022. India's first talk show on energy and power. Exclusively on Zee Business. Co-partners MTU On-Site Energy and BS Group, Sugan Automatics. Associate partner BHEL. Supported by Jindal Power Limited and Patel Engineering Limited. Segment partner Green Brilliance Energy. A Falcon Media production exclusively on Zee Business.